You've convinced yourself they love you. But what if everything you believe is only half the truth? The real reason they're drawn to you isn't just attraction, it's something deeper, something you might not even notice in yourself. Think about it. When someone loves you, it's rarely just about the charming smile or the way you laugh. Often, their attention is stirred by parts of you that reflect something unspoken inside themselves. Perhaps they're drawn to the confidence you wish you had, or the kindness they fear they can't show. This isn't manipulation. It's the mind's way of seeking completion, a silent mirror of hidden needs. Understanding this doesn't make love less real. It makes it far more illuminating, revealing both your light and the shadows that influence connection. Pause for a moment. Reflect on who you think loves you and why. Could their feelings reveal more about their inner world than yours? Comment below your thoughts. Let's explore these hidden patterns together. You might think the person in your mind truly loves you, but what if part of that love exists more in your imagination than in reality? This is where the subtle line between projection and reality comes into play. Often, what we feel about someone isn't just about who they are. It's about how they reflect the parts of ourselves we long to see or need the most. Projection is a natural psychological process. It's when we attribute our own desires, fears, or expectations onto someone else, often without realizing it. For example, if you crave attention or validation, you might interpret ordinary kindness from another person as deep love. If you felt unseen or unheard in the past, you may unconsciously seek out someone who appears to give you what you're missing, and in doing so, create a narrative that feels real, even if it's only partially true. This doesn't mean the person is intentionally misleading you or being manipulative. Often, they are as human and as unaware of these dynamics as we are. The challenge is recognizing when your mind is coloring the reality of the relationship. Instead of seeing the person exactly as they are, you see them through a lens shaped by your own inner world, your hopes, fears, and unmet needs. Understanding projection is liberating. It helps you pause before fully investing in a story that might only exist in your mind. It encourages you to ask honest questions. Am I truly responding to who they are, or to who I want them to be? By doing this, you create space to experience the relationship as it really is, rather than as a reflection of your own inner desires. The real connection comes when love is grounded in reality, not just imagination. When you start noticing the difference, you can appreciate the genuine qualities in another person without overlaying your own expectations. You begin to see the relationship as a dialogue between two whole, complex individuals, instead of a mirror reflecting what you feel is missing inside yourself. Recognizing projection doesn't take away the value of attraction or affection. It simply adds clarity. Love can still be beautiful, but it becomes conscious, intentional, and much more fulfilling. By distinguishing between projection and reality, you learn not just about the other person, but about your own patterns, needs, and desires. This awareness is the first step toward a love that is honest, meaningful, and mutually nourishing. So next time you feel certain that someone loves you, pause for a moment. Consider what part of that certainty comes from within you, and what part is grounded in reality. Understanding this distinction may not always be easy, but it's essential for forming a connection that is authentic and enduring. You may feel certain that someone loves you, but often the deeper reason behind that affection lies in the shadows, the parts of themselves they rarely acknowledge, and the parts of you that unknowingly reflect those hidden aspects. Every human being carries a shadow self, the collection of traits, desires, and fears that we keep out of sight, even from ourselves. Sometimes, the love we think we're receiving isn't just for who we are on the surface. It's for how we resonate with another person's unconscious inner world. The shadow self isn't inherently negative, it's simply hidden. It may include unresolved emotions, unfulfilled needs, or qualities that the person struggles to accept in themselves. When they are drawn to you, it may be because you embody or mirror something they suppress within themselves. Perhaps your confidence touches a part of them that feels insecure, or your creativity sparks a longing for expression they rarely allow themselves. This attraction isn't always deliberate. It often operates beneath awareness, quietly guiding feelings and behaviors. Understanding this dynamic can be enlightening. It explains why some relationships feel intense yet confusing, why someone seems irresistibly drawn to you without fully explaining why. The pull is less about conscious choice and more about a subconscious need for completion or recognition. In essence, they see in you something they wish to embrace within themselves. This perspective doesn't diminish their affection, it simply reframes it. Love influenced by shadow dynamics can be transformative if approached consciously. When you recognize that another person's admiration may stem from these unconscious reflections, you gain clarity. You start to ask, do they love me for who I truly am, or because I illuminate something they need to face within themselves? This reflection allows you to engage more authentically without getting lost in projection or idealization. Furthermore, this awareness helps you understand your own responses. You might feel flattered, anxious, or intensely connected. These reactions often signal that both of your shadow selves are interacting. The key is to observe rather than judge, and to consider whether the connection fosters mutual growth or merely reinforces unexamined patterns. When approached with mindfulness, relationships influenced by shadow attraction can be opportunities for deep insight and personal development. They encourage both individuals to explore their hidden layers, to understand their fears and desires, and to navigate love with awareness rather than illusion. So the next time you feel certain that someone's love is effortless, pause and reflect on the hidden factors at play. Recognize the shadows in both yourself and the other person. True understanding doesn't come from ignoring the unseen. It comes from acknowledging it, allowing connection to grow consciously, authentically, and meaningfully. You may feel an undeniable pull towards someone, convinced it's love at first sight. But often, what draws you isn't fully conscious. Unconscious attraction operates beneath the surface of awareness, guiding feelings and choices in ways we rarely notice. It's the hidden force that shapes who we notice, who we desire, and why certain people feel magnetic to us. Understanding this can shed light on the deeper reasons someone seems to love you, or why you feel drawn to them. Unconscious attraction often begins with qualities that complement or reflect parts of ourselves we are not fully aware of. For instance, you may gravitate towards someone who displays confidence you secretly crave, patience you struggle to maintain, or emotional depth that resonates with your own hidden longings. This isn't manipulation or chance, it's a subtle alignment between their traits and the inner landscapes of your psyche. Likewise, their attraction to you may mirror their own unconscious needs or desires. The fascinating part is that unconscious attraction often feels instant and undeniable, yet it doesn't always align with conscious reasoning. You may wonder, why am I drawn to this person when they don't seem perfect on paper? The answer often lies in the subtle interplay of hidden desires, unmet emotional needs, and internal dynamics you may not even recognize. In this way, attraction acts as a mirror, reflecting aspects of the self in another person. Understanding unconscious attraction allows you to navigate relationships with greater awareness. Rather than assuming that initial intensity guarantees compatibility, you can pause and reflect. Am I responding to who they truly are, or to what they represent in my unconscious mind? This awareness doesn't diminish the beauty or excitement of attraction. It makes it more conscious, intentional, and ultimately more sustainable. Another important aspect is that unconscious attraction can reveal patterns. If you notice a recurring type of person you're drawn to, it may indicate unresolved emotional needs or recurring themes in your inner world. Recognizing these patterns gives you an opportunity to grow rather than repeat the same cycles unknowingly. When both individuals are open to reflection, unconscious attraction can lead to profound insight and connection. It allows you to see not only the other person's qualities, but also the deeper parts of yourself that are activated by their presence. Attraction becomes not just a fleeting feeling, but a doorway to self-awareness, mutual understanding, and authentic engagement. So, the next time you feel drawn to someone intensely and inexplicably, pause to explore the deeper reasons. Notice which parts of yourself they reflect, and consider how your inner world shapes what you perceive as love. This understanding doesn't take away the magic. It simply brings it into sharper, more conscious focus. It's easy to believe that someone loves you because you see them as perfect, charming, attentive, and everything you've ever wanted. But often, what we think is love is shaped by idealization, a subtle psychological pattern that can make someone appear far more flawless than they truly are. Idealization occurs when we focus on the traits we admire, while unconsciously ignoring or minimizing the person's complexities, contradictions, or flaws. Idealization isn't necessarily a conscious choice. Our minds naturally seek patterns and meaning, and when we feel drawn to someone, we tend to fill in the gaps with what we hope or need to see. Perhaps you emphasize their kindness while overlooking moments of self-centeredness, or you celebrate their intelligence while ignoring emotional distance. This selective perception can create a sense of certainty that may not fully match reality. The danger of the idealization trap is that it can blur the line between genuine connection and wishful thinking. When we idealize someone, we may respond to the version we've imagined rather than the person who actually exists. This can lead to disappointment, confusion, or cycles of attachment that feel intense but lack a stable foundation. The more invested we become in the idealized image, the harder it is to see the relationship clearly. Understanding idealization, however, is empowering. It encourages self-reflection and honesty. Instead of assuming love is only about charm or attraction, we can ask ourselves, am I responding to them or to the image I've created? Recognizing the tendency to idealize allows us to appreciate the person as a whole, strengths, weaknesses, and all, without losing the sense of admiration or connection. Idealization also reveals something about our inner world. Often, the traits we overemphasize are qualities we desire or feel we lack. For example, admiring someone's confidence may highlight our own insecurities. Cherishing their patience may reflect our wish to be calmer or more present. By noticing these patterns, we gain insight not only into the other person, but into our own needs and desires. When approached consciously, relationships become richer. Seeing someone realistically doesn't reduce love, it deepens it. You engage with them fully, responding to who they are rather than who you imagine them to be. This clarity fosters mutual respect, authentic understanding, and a connection that can grow steadily without the distortions of idealization. So, the next time you feel certain that someone's love is flawless or effortless, pause and reflect. Consider the difference between the person in front of you and the version your mind may be creating. Real love thrives not on perfection, but on honesty, awareness, and the courage to embrace both the light and the complexity in the people we care about. Have you ever noticed that when someone seems to love you deeply, it can feel like they understand your emotions in a way no one else does? What's happening here is more than affection. It's the reflection of your own emotional world. In psychology, This is sometimes called the emotional mirror. People often respond to qualities in others that reflect their own inner experiences, sometimes without realizing it. When someone mirrors your emotions, it doesn't just mean they echo your feelings. It means they resonate with your inner state, your joys, insecurities, fears, and longings. For example, if you carry a quiet vulnerability, someone may be drawn to you because it reflects a hidden vulnerability within themselves. If you radiate calm confidence, another person may find themselves fascinated, not just by your behavior, but by the parts of themselves that recognize and long for that energy. This emotional mirroring explains why certain relationships feel intense or even fated. It's not just that you enjoy being with someone, it's that their presence illuminates something about yourself that you might rarely see. Their reactions and attention act as a mirror, showing aspects of your own personality, emotional patterns, or unresolved needs. In a way, the love you experience is partially a dialogue with your own psyche, reflected in the other person. Understanding this dynamic can change the way you approach relationships. When you notice that someone's love seems particularly focused on a certain part of you, your sensitivity, humor, strength, or optimism, pause to reflect. Ask yourself, what part of me are they responding to, and why does it resonate with them so deeply? By doing so, you gain insight into both your own inner world and the underlying reasons for their attraction. It's important to note that emotional mirroring isn't manipulation. Often it's unconscious. People are drawn to what resonates with their inner landscape. However, recognizing it allows you to interact with relationships more consciously. You can appreciate the connection while remaining aware of why it feels so compelling. This awareness prevents projection, misunderstandings, and over-reliance on validation from others. When approached mindfully, emotional mirroring can strengthen relationships. It encourages empathy, understanding, and mutual growth. Both individuals have the opportunity to see themselves more clearly through the other's reactions, creating a bond that is reflective, authentic, and emotionally intelligent. So, the next time someone's love feels unusually intense or insightful, remember the mirror effect. Their feelings may be revealing as much about your inner world as they do about them. Recognizing this doesn't diminish connection, it deepens it, allowing you to engage with love that is conscious, genuine, and emotionally resonant. Have you ever wondered why you feel drawn to certain people in ways that seem almost inevitable? Or why, despite loving someone deeply, you sometimes feel anxiety, distance, or frustration? Much of this comes down to attachment patterns, the unconscious ways we relate to love, intimacy, and security, often shaped by early experiences in life. Attachment patterns aren't about flaws or weakness. They're survival strategies developed in childhood. Some people learn that love is safe and reliable, while others learn that it is unpredictable or conditional. These early lessons create internal blueprints that guide how we give and receive love as adults. When someone appears to love you, their feelings may interact with your own attachment style in ways that feel magnetic or sometimes confusing. For instance, if you have a secure attachment style, you may respond to love with trust and openness, appreciating emotional closeness without fear. On the other hand, those with anxious attachment may find themselves constantly seeking reassurance, interpreting silence or distance as rejection. Avoidant individuals might pull back when love becomes too intense, valuing independence over connection. And for those with mixed or disorganized attachment, love may trigger a complex blend of desire and fear, making relationships feel unpredictable or intense. Recognizing attachment patterns can transform how you experience love. If you understand your own tendencies, you can begin to see why certain people feel irresistible or why certain dynamics repeat in your relationships. For example, someone who consistently appears caring but distant may unconsciously match the needs or fears embedded in your attachment blueprint. Understanding this doesn't excuse unhealthy behavior, but it offers clarity on why the bond feels compelling and why it sometimes triggers anxiety or confusion. Attachment awareness also deepens empathy. When you notice that another person's behavior may reflect their own patterns, not a personal judgment of you, it becomes easier to respond consciously rather than react impulsively. This awareness allows relationships to move beyond unconscious cycles and toward intentional, mindful connection. Moreover, attachment patterns provide an opportunity for growth. By observing how they influence your feelings and reactions, you can gradually develop healthier ways of relating, communicating, and connecting with others. Love becomes less about repeating past patterns and more about creating a bond rooted in understanding, trust, and mutual growth. So, the next time you feel intensely drawn to someone or strangely unsettled by their affection, pause and reflect. Consider the role of your attachment patterns and notice how they shape your experience of love. Recognizing these invisible dynamics doesn't make love less real. It makes it more conscious, more grounded, and ultimately more fulfilling. It's easy to mistake intense attraction for love. That rush of excitement, constant thoughts about someone, or desire to be near them can feel all-consuming. But not all intense feelings indicate a deep, authentic connection. Sometimes what we experience is infatuation, a strong, often temporary emotional pull, rather than a lasting bond rooted in understanding and mutual growth. Understanding the difference can help you navigate relationships more consciously and meaningfully. Infatuation often thrives on idealization and projection. We focus on the qualities we admire, exaggerating them, while overlooking incompatibilities or complexities. The intensity can feel irresistible, but it is often fueled by our own desires or fantasies, rather than the reality of who the other person truly is. It's a spark that excites the mind and body, but it doesn't always engage the heart in a sustainable, grounded way. Authentic connection, on the other hand, is built on awareness, respect, and acceptance. It is not defined by constant highs or obsessive attention. Instead, it grows from a genuine understanding of the other person, acknowledging both strengths and flaws, and feeling drawn to them in spite of imperfections. True connection allows for vulnerability, encourages growth, and aligns with shared values and emotional compatibility. It is steady, even when life introduces challenges or mundane moments. One way to recognize the difference is to observe how the relationship makes you feel over time. Infatuation often leaves you anxious, constantly seeking reassurance, or caught in emotional swings. Authentic connection tends to bring stability, comfort, and a sense of safety even when excitement ebbs. Another clue lies in awareness. With infatuation, much of your attention may be on your own desire or on how they make you feel. With genuine connection, there is a balance, care for both yourself and the other, and curiosity about their inner world without losing sight of your own. It's also important to recognize that infatuation is not inherently negative. It can serve as an initial spark, drawing people together and signaling potential compatibility. The key is to move beyond the initial thrill, observing both yourself and the other person with clarity. Ask, do I see them as they truly are, or as I wish them to be? Are we building something that nurtures growth and understanding? When you navigate relationships with this awareness, love becomes conscious and intentional. You begin to appreciate intensity without being swept away by it, discerning the difference between passing fascination and enduring connection. Authentic love is not always dramatic or consuming. It is steady, understanding, and reflective of a mutual willingness to grow together. So, the next time you feel deeply drawn to someone, pause and reflect. Notice whether it's infatuation or authentic connection. Understanding this distinction allows you to engage in love that is grounded, meaningful, and capable of lasting fulfillment. Love often feels mysterious and uncontrollable, especially when we are certain someone loves us. We might feel swept away by emotions, certain that attraction is straightforward. But beneath the surface of every connection lies complexity, hidden motives, subconscious patterns, and unrecognized needs. The key to understanding the deeper reasons for love is awareness. Awareness awakens clarity, allowing us to see both ourselves and others with honesty, rather than through the lens of desire or assumption. When we are aware, we notice more than just what is visible. We begin to recognize patterns in attraction, attachment, and response. Perhaps someone seems drawn to you in ways that reflect unresolved needs, past experiences, or hidden fears. Perhaps your own responses are influenced by longing, projection, or idealization. Awareness doesn't make love less real. It simply illuminates the dynamics that are often invisible in the moment. Clarity through awareness allows us to differentiate between illusion and reality. Instead of assuming that intensity equals authenticity, we can observe how the connection unfolds over time, whether it fosters growth, mutual respect, and understanding. Awareness helps us question unconscious assumptions. Am I seeing them as they truly are, or am I perceiving a version shaped by my desires? By asking these questions, we prevent projection from distorting our perception of love. Another important aspect of awareness is recognizing the interplay between attraction and personal patterns. Sometimes we are drawn to people not solely for who they are, but because they mirror qualities in ourselves or stimulate unacknowledged parts of our psyche. By noticing this, we gain insight into our own inner world, our needs, fears, and areas for growth. Awareness transforms love into a conscious experience, one in which connection is intentional rather than automatic. Awareness also empowers us to respond rather than react. When we observe our own emotional triggers and tendencies, we can choose how to engage with the other person. Instead of getting lost in assumptions or emotional intensity, we navigate the relationship with clarity, empathy, and discernment. This conscious approach encourages genuine connection, deep understanding, and meaningful engagement. Ultimately, awareness awakens clarity by creating a space for honesty, both with ourselves and with others. It allows love to be experienced fully, without distortion, projection, or idealization. The relationships that endure are not those that are the most intense or dramatic, but those grounded in conscious understanding, reflection, and mutual respect. So, the next time you feel certain about someone's love, pause and observe. Notice the hidden dynamics, reflect on your own patterns, and embrace clarity. True understanding doesn't diminish love. It enriches it, revealing a connection that is authentic, balanced, and deeply fulfilling.